Okay, today we're replacing an alternator on a 2002 Chevy Avalanche with a 5.3 liter V8. These motors are in a zillion different Chevy and GM trucks, Silverado, Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, you name it, Escalades. First we're going to check the battery voltage, make sure our battery is good and our voltage is up to snuff. And we got 12.9 volts. Then we're going to start it and check on the back of the alternator that we have, if we have any output coming out of that. As you can see, the voltage did not go up. Now we'll check under the hood and see if we're seeing anything coming out of the alternator. First thing you want to do is remove your negative cable. Remove the top cover with a 5/16 socket. Next, you want to loosen the clamp. Goes to the throttle body. Then loosen the bellows near the airbox.
Go through this.
You should be able to pull the airbox out. Then we had a little clamp under here that we just pried off on an end. With the airbox off, use a 15mm socket on your tensioner and push up towards the driver's side. Loosen the belt, and then we'll pull it off the alternator. And you want to just loosen it just enough to get the belt off. You don't want to lose the belt off any of your other pulleys. You can just set it down and relax the tensioner. Remove the cable off the back of the alternator that goes to the battery with a 10mm socket or a wrench. Okay, I just want to show that it's off. Use a screwdriver to release the little latch and pull out the plug. Use a 15mm socket to remove the two bolts that hold in the alternator. With a large screwdriver, pry out the alternator. Okay, match up your old alternator with your new alternator. It's the old one on the left, the new one on the right. That the plug is in the same position. And all your mounting bolts in the same position. Alternator's the same height. So everything looks good here, so we got the correct alternator. This is a 105 amp model. Now that we know the alternator is the same size, we're going to put the new one back in. Might need to persuade it a little bit with a rubber hammer to drop in there. Gently tap it. With the alternator in place, you can put your bolts back in. Might have to finesse it a little bit to get both your bolts in. Tighten down your bolts. Okay, with the alternator tightened up, you want to plug back in your control plug and hook back up the cable going to the battery. That again is a 10mm socket. Tighten it down, but not too tight. Snug it down good. And replace your rubber boot. Okay, have an assistant pull up your tensioner to give the belt some slack so you can put it back on the pulley. Oh, it's going. There we go. Ease it off. Make sure your belt is in good shape. Before you do this, I probably should have said that a little earlier. And that you're on all your pulleys, your crank and everything down there, your idler, that you're all nice and lined up and the belt isn't coming off any of your pulleys. Next step, after your belt is all on and properly aligned, is to put back on your air box. And then you'll tighten down the clamps. Okay, and then we start up the car. There we go. We got a charging battery. Looks like at about 14.5, maybe close to 15 volts. And you've replaced your alternator and fixed your truck. Thanks for watching.